If your mind feels like a browser with too many tabs open and none of them ever stop loading, you're not alone. Maybe you lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, replaying old conversations, worrying about what might happen tomorrow or what you said 3 years ago. Your body is tired, but your thoughts don't know how to rest. If that feels like your life, this message is for you. Before we go deeper, I'd love to invite you to be part of this small community. If this topic speaks to your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who overthinks like you, and subscribe to the channel. And in the comments, tell me honestly, what do you overthink about the most? The past, the future, or what people think of you? Your answer might help someone else feel less alone. The Buddha understood this restless mind very well. He called it the monkey mind, always jumping, always grabbing, never still. Overthinking is not just thinking too much. It's thinking in circles. It is the feeling of being stuck in your head, trapped in worries and what-if scenarios, while your real life is happening right in front of you. The first thing the Buddha would say is this: nothing is wrong with you because you overthink. You're not broken. Your mind is simply doing what minds do, trying to protect you from pain, trying to predict danger, trying to control what cannot be controlled. Overthinking is your mind's way of saying, I'm scared. The problem is not that you think. The problem is that you believe every thought, feed every thought, and chase every thought as if it were the truth. So step 1 is very gentle. Instead of fighting your overthinking, notice it. When you catch yourself spinning in your head, you can simply say inside, this is overthinking. My mind is busy right now. You don't have to shout at yourself. Stop thinking. What's wrong with you? That only adds more noise. The Buddha invites us to see clearly, not to attack ourselves. Imagine you're sitting at your desk, staring at your laptop, jumping from tab to tab. You're reading emails, messages, news, old memories. Your brain feels tight. Next to your computer, there's a small Buddha statue. You notice it for just 1 second. In that moment, you have a choice. You can stay inside the screen, or you can step back into your body. The Buddha's path always begins with coming back to the present. The easiest doorway is your breath. Try something very simple right now. Where you are, breathe in slowly through your nose and silently think. Here. Breathe out slowly and silently think. Now. You don't have to sit on a mountain to do this. You can be sitting in your car in a parking lot. You can be waiting in line. You can be lying in bed at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling. Overthinking lives in the past and the future. Your breath lives only here, only now. Every time you return to your breath, even for 2 seconds, you are stepping out of the storm and standing under a tree with the Buddha. The next step is to come back to your body. Overthinking pulls you up into your head and leaves your body behind like an empty house. The Buddha taught that we can come home to our body and that the body is a friend to our mind. When you notice you're lost in thoughts, try this small practice. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your seat on the chair or the bed. Notice the weight of your hands, on your lap, on the steering wheel, on the table. Maybe you are sitting at a kitchen table, coffee getting cold, a small Buddha magnet on the fridge behind you. Your mind is running. What if this happens? What if I fail? What if they don't like me? In that moment, let your attention drop down. Feel the warm mug in your hands. Feel the chair supporting your body. Hear the small sounds in the room. These are not big, dramatic spiritual actions. They are tiny, ordinary, sacred choices to leave the prison of the mind and return to reality. The Buddha also reminds us, we suffer not just because we have thoughts, but because we cling to them. Overthinking is like picking up the same heavy object again and again and wondering why your arms are tired. One way to practice letting go is to question your thoughts, just a little. When a thought appears, I'm going to mess this up. Everyone is judging me. My life is ruined. You can ask gently, is this a fact or is this just a story? Most of the time, it's a story. It might be a very convincing story with strong emotions, but it is still a story your mind is telling to try to feel safe. Think of yourself sitting on your bed at night, phone in hand, scrolling through old messages, zooming in on every little word, reading between lines that are not there. Next to your bed, there's a small Buddhist statue. At some point, you put the phone down, turn it face down, and place it beside the Buddha. In that simple action, you are saying, I don't have to keep feeding these stories tonight. I can let them be. You're not erasing the past. You're just not replaying it for the 100th time. Another powerful teaching of the Buddha is about what you feed with your attention. Overthinking grows because we keep watering it. We keep giving it our energy, our time, our focus. The Buddha said that whatever you water will grow. If you constantly water fear, fear grows. If you water gratitude, gratitude grows. If you water anger, anger grows. If you water calm, calm grows. So ask yourself, what am I feeding today? When you catch yourself lost in thoughts, you can gently change the direction of your attention. You don't have to jump to fake positivity. You can start with something very small and real. For example, I don't know how tomorrow will go, but right now, I'm breathing. I'm scared about this conversation, but right now, I'm sitting on this chair and I'm safe. I feel like a failure, but right now, I have one person or one thing I'm grateful for. Maybe you sit at your desk, your head overflowing with worries. Your eyes land on a tiny Buddha on the shelf. You take one sticky note, write down just one thing. Today I am grateful for, and you finish that sentence. It can be simple, a friend, a pet, a warm bed, a meal, a breath. This is how you start to shine positive energy from the inside out. Not by pretending everything is perfect, but by choosing again and again to notice the small lights that are already here. The Buddha's wisdom is very gentle and very practical. He does not ask you to become a different person overnight. He invites you to take tiny steps again and again. One breath, one pause, one moment of awareness. Overthinking is fast and loud. Buddha nature is slow and quiet. Overthinking lives in what if. Buddha nature lives in what is. So in this first part, remember these simple things. You are not broken because you overthink. You can name it. This is overthinking. You can return to your breath, breathing in, here, breathing out, now. You can come back to your body, feet, hands, seat, senses. You can question your thoughts. Is this a fact or a story? You can choose what you water, fear or calm, worry or gratitude. Over time, these small actions change the energy around you. People feel it. You become less reactive, more present. You start to carry a quiet, gentle light, even on difficult days. This is how you begin to stop overthinking, not by force, but by kindness and awareness. Exactly as the Buddha taught, if while listening to this, you felt even a small wave of relief, even 1% more calm, remember to breathe with that feeling. And if you haven't yet, please like this video, share it with someone whose mind never stops, and subscribe so we can keep walking this path together. And don't forget to comment. Do you overthink more about the past, the future, or what others think of you? Your honesty can be the first step out of your own head and a light for someone else. In the last part, we talked about seeing overthinking for what it is and gently coming back to your breath and your body. Now, let's go a little deeper, because if you only try to control your thoughts, you'll get tired. But if you understand why the mind overthinks, you can begin to relate to it in a completely new way. The Buddha taught that behind all this mental noise, there is usually one simple thing. We are trying not to feel something. We overthink because we are afraid to feel hurt, afraid to feel uncertain, afraid to feel not good enough. So we escape into thinking. We run into stories, plans, analysis. What if only. The mind is trying to solve an emotion with logic, and it can't. It just keeps spinning. Imagine you're sitting in your car in a parking lot, staring at the steering wheel. You keep replaying a mistake from yesterday. Your brain is shouting, "Why did I say that? What if they think I'm stupid? How do I fix it?" Your chest feels tight. On your mirror, a small Buddha charm hangs quietly. Instead of continuing the mental argument, you put one hand on your chest and one hand on the steering wheel, and you think, right now, I feel shame. I feel fear. This is what's here. In that moment, you are doing something very powerful. You are turning toward your feeling instead of running into more thoughts. You're not pretending to be okay. You're not telling yourself lies. You're simply acknowledging the truth of this moment. The Buddha called this knowing things as they really are, not as your fear paints them, but as they are here and now. This is the first big shift from why am I like this to this is what I am feeling. Overthinking always asks why, what if? Mindfulness simply says, this is sadness, this is anxiety, this is tension. The moment you name it, it softens a little. It goes from being a huge, vague monster in the dark to something you can see and sit with. You can try this throughout your day in very ordinary situations. You're at your desk, your leg is bouncing, your jaw is tight, your eyes keep reading the same sentence over and over. Next to your keyboard, there's a little Buddha figurine. You pause, put both feet flat on the floor and think, right now, I feel pressure. Right now, I feel scared of failing. Right now, I feel tired. You breathe. You don't try to fix the whole story. You just show up for what's really happening inside. This simple act is like turning on a light in a dark room. The Buddha also spoke about the second arrow. The first arrow is the pain, the situation, the feeling, the tiredness, the loneliness. The second arrow is what your mind adds. I shouldn't feel this. I'm weak. I always mess things up. This means my whole future is ruined. Overthinking is often the second arrow, and the third, and the fourth. It's self-attack disguised as problem solving. So here is a very gentle, very practical practice. When you notice you're overthinking, ask yourself, what is my first arrow? What actually hurts right now? Maybe you realize, I'm just afraid of being rejected, or I feel embarrassed, or I feel uncertain about the future. Then remind yourself, this is the first arrow. I don't have to shoot the second one. You can visualize it as sitting with a hurting child inside you. The child is scared. Overthinking is like yelling at the child, asking them for reasons, demanding explanations. Why are you scared? You're overreacting. This is stupid. Stop it. No wonder the fear grows. Buddha's way is different. He invites you to sit down next to that child and say, I see you. It's okay to feel this. I'm here with you. Your breathing becomes slower. Your body loosens. The feeling is still there, but it's held in kindness instead of violence. All these small scenes we imagine at the kitchen table, in the car, on the couch, by the window, are training grounds. Tiny dojos where you practice a new way of being. You are teaching your nervous system. When I feel something uncomfortable, I don't have to explode into thought. I can stay. I can breathe. I can feel. This is how you begin to radiate a different kind of energy, not because you never struggle, but because you stop fighting yourself. The Buddha also taught about impermanence. Everything changes. Every thought, every feeling, every situation. Overthinking acts like everything is permanent. I will always be like this. This problem will never end. This emotion will stay forever. When you believe that, you panic. You try to control every possible outcome. You cannot trust life. But if you look closely, you see the truth. Nothing in your experience has ever stayed exactly the same. Your thoughts move. Your moods move. Your body changes. People come and go. Even your worries change shape over time. So when your mind says, it will always be this way, you can gently answer, that's not true. Nothing has ever stayed forever. This, too, is moving, even if slowly. You could be standing at your window at night, watching the rain hit the glass, your head full of worries about money, relationships, health. Beside the window, a small Buddha statue sits in the corner. You breathe and say to yourself, this storm in my mind is also weather. It will pass. I don't need to control every drop. That doesn't magically solve your problems. but it takes away the sense that you are trapped in an eternal nightmare. You remember, I have survived every bad day so far. I can handle this moment, too. Another way to stop overthinking is to give your mind something kind to do. The Buddha did not just say stop, he offered practices. When the mind has a wholesome object, it does not need to chew on fear all day. One simple practice is mindful action, doing one thing completely, with your full attention. That if you're washing dishes, you really wash dishes. You feel the warm water on your hands, notice the weight of the plate, hear the sound of the water. If you're drinking tea, you really drink tea. You're not at a meeting in your head or fighting with someone in your imagination. You are with the cup, the warmth, the taste. If you're walking from your car to your front door, you really walk. You feel each step, the touch of your feet on the ground. Maybe there's a Buddha magnet on your fridge or a Buddha picture by your sink or your desk. Let these be gentle bells. Each time you see them, let them remind you. Come back. One thing at a time. You don't need to make it perfect. Just do one small thing with presence. That single moment of full presence shines more positive energy into the world than 1,000 anxious thoughts. The truth is, people feel your energy even when they don't know your story. A person who is always in their head, always worried, sends out a heavy, tight energy. A person who is learning to breathe, to feel, to be present, sends out a softer, calmer energy. It doesn't mean you never struggle. It means you are honest with yourself and gentle with yourself in the struggle. Maybe you're in a coffee shop, laptop open, thoughts racing about work. You see your reflection in the dark screen for a moment, and behind you on the wall, there's a Buddha painting. You decide, just for 1 minute, to close your eyes and feel your breath, to relax your jaw, to feel the chair under you. When you open your eyes again, nothing on the outside has changed, but inside, there is a tiny bit more space. That space is where compassion and wisdom grow. This is how you begin to overcome overthinking in a very real, everyday way. Not by forcing your mind to be silent, but by relating to it with curiosity and kindness. Not by controlling every outcome, but by meeting this moment fully. The Buddha's teachings are not just for temples and statues. They are for your car, your bed, your kitchen, your office, your walks, your waiting rooms, your scrolling breaks. Anywhere your mind can overthink, your heart can also wake up. As you keep practicing, your energy changes. You become someone who can sit with discomfort without exploding. Someone who can pause before reacting. Someone who can feel deeply and still remain grounded. That kind of presence is rare in this world and deeply healing for you and for everyone around you. Little by little, as you start to breathe, to feel, to come back to your body, something else becomes possible. You can begin to choose the kind of energy you want to live in. The Buddha never said that life would be free of problems. He showed us how to meet those problems in a different state of mind, with more kindness, more clarity, more peace. Overthinking makes everything tighter and darker. Practice makes everything a little softer and clearer. One of the most powerful ways the Buddha suggested we transform our mind is through loving kindness, through training the heart to respond with goodwill instead of constant attack. Overthinking is usually full of attack, against ourselves, against others, against the situations we can't control. It sounds like, I'm so stupid, they're so wrong, this is a disaster. All of that creates a heavy field around you. You feel it in your chest, in your stomach, in the way you move. So imagine this. You're sitting at your kitchen table, staring at your phone, your brain replaying an awkward conversation for the 10th time. On the fridge behind you is a little Buddha magnet. You notice it. You put the phone down for just a moment and place a hand over your heart. And instead of running the whole story again, you whisper in your mind, "May I be gentle with myself. I was doing the best I knew how." In that small moment, you are changing the direction of energy. You are not feeding the storm. You are feeding compassion. The Buddha often talked about training, like training a muscle. At first, These practices feel weak, noisy, clumsy. Your old habits are strong. But if every day you give your heart even a few seconds of kindness, that kindness will grow. The next time you catch yourself thinking, "Why am I always like this?" you can add a small sentence. "I'm learning. I'm human." This doesn't excuse harm, but it stops you from stabbing yourself over and over. Loving kindness also works with other people. Overthinking loves to create stories about what others think of us. They must hate me. They're judging me. They're laughing at me. You can spend hours in that inner courtroom, and it never gives you peace. The Buddha offers another way. When you catch yourself building a whole movie about someone in your head, pause and send them a simple wish instead. May you be well. May you be at peace. You don't have to mean it perfectly. You just plant the seed. Picture yourself on a train, scrolling, comparing your life to everyone else's, feeling smaller and smaller. On your backpack strap, a tiny Buddha charm sways with the movement. You stop scrolling. You look around at the other faces. Instead of judging them or yourself, you try this. May all of us on this train find some peace today. You will feel something shift in your chest. The energy goes from tight and afraid to a little more open. That openness is the light you start to shine. Another thing the Buddha understood very well is our addiction to control. Overthinking is usually an attempt to control what cannot be controlled: other people's reactions, the future, the past. The more you try to control what is outside your power, the more you panic. The Buddha invited us to ask a simple question: is this within my control or not? If it is not, he suggested we practice letting go, not as a one-time act, but as a daily, hourly practice. You might be standing at your window, worrying about what will happen next month, next year, in your career, your family, your health. Your mind spins. What if this goes wrong? What if I lose everything? Nearby, a small Buddha statue sits on the sill. You put your hand on the cool surface next to it and say silently, "This, right here, is what I can touch. My breath, my actions today, my attitude in this moment. That's what I can choose." You are not denying reality. You are stepping out of fantasy into the one place where you actually have power. The Buddha didn't teach passive waiting. He taught wise action. Once you calm down a little, you can ask yourself, what is one small, helpful thing I can actually do today? Maybe it's sending one email instead of worrying about 10. Maybe it's making one phone call. Maybe it's going for a walk to clear your mind. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water and going to sleep. When you do what is in front of you with a calm mind, your energy changes. It becomes more steady, less frantic. People around you feel safer with you, and you feel safer inside yourself. This is how positive energy really works. It's not a fake smile plastered over panic. It's a mind that knows, I'm doing what I can, and I'm letting go of what I can't. That kind of mind is attractive. It doesn't mean you never cry or never worry. It means your worries don't own you. The Buddha also taught a lot about our sense doors, what we look at, what we listen to, what we read, what we feed our mind with. Overthinking gets worse when you constantly pour in more fuel. Endless bad news, drama, gossip, comparison, arguments. It's like trying to put out a fire while you're still pouring gasoline on it. If you want to radiate different energy, you have to be honest about what you're feeding yourself every day. Look at a simple day. You wake up and the first thing you see is your phone, full of notifications and news. You scroll in bed, your chest tight, before your feet even touch the floor. Somewhere on your nightstand is a Buddhist statue, quiet. Imagine turning to that instead for a moment. Before you reach for the phone, you look at the Buddha, take 3 slow breaths, and ask yourself, what do I want my mind to feel like today? What do I want to send into the world? You might still check your messages. You still live in the modern world. But because you paused, you are a little less likely to fall into the automatic spiral. You remember, I can choose what I look at. I can choose when I stop. I can choose to close the app. I can choose to put the phone face down and take a walk. This is not about perfection. It's about many small, merciful choices As you start to make these choices, your day becomes dotted with tiny moments of sanity. The dishes washed mindfully without your brain arguing with someone who isn't there. The drive to work where you turn off the angry talk and just breathe with your Buddha charm dangling from the mirror. The lunch break where you look at the sky instead of people's lives on a screen. These are small actions, but they are big prayers. Your energy shifts from, I am trapped in my head, to, I am living in my life. The Buddha also pointed to the importance of intention. Before you act, before you speak, even before you follow a thought, you can ask, why am I doing this? What energy is behind this? Overthinking is usually driven by fear, insecurity, or craving. If you can catch that, you can gently change it. Let's say you're rewriting a message over and over, terrified of how it will be received. Pause. Look at the little Buddha on your desk or phone case. Ask yourself, what is my intention? Maybe you realize, my intention is to be honest and kind. Then you don't need the 10th version. You send the simple, honest one. The mind will still want to spin after you send it, but you can come back to that intention. I have acted with as much wisdom and kindness as I could. That is enough for now. When your intention is to bring a little less harm and a little more kindness into each situation, your whole presence changes. You walk into rooms differently. You speak differently. You listen differently. People often say they want to radiate positive energy, but they think it's about always being upbeat. From the Buddha's view, radiant energy comes from honest, grounded, kind intention. You can be tired and still radiate peace. You can be sad and still radiate gentleness. You can be uncertain and still radiate courage. You may notice that as you plant these seeds, naming your feelings, breathing, letting go of what you can't control, being kind to yourself, acting with clear intention, your overthinking doesn't disappear overnight. It still shows up. The difference is that now, when it appears, it doesn't completely own you. It's like a loud guest in a house where the host has finally woken up. You can say, I hear you, you're worried, but I'm going to choose a different way to move through this moment. This is the heart of the Buddha's path in daily life. You are not trying to become a perfect thinker. You are learning to be a wise friend to your own mind. That friendship, that gentleness, that awareness, that is the light that slowly grows inside you and around you. Even on the days your mind is noisy, you will be able to feel a small, steady place beneath the noise. And from that place, you can live, love, and act with much more peace. As you keep walking this path, something important begins to change. You don't just want peace for yourself. You start to realize that your energy affects everyone around you. The Buddha didn't teach just so one person could sit alone and feel calm. He taught so that your inner peace becomes a gift to your family, your friends, your co-workers, even strangers standing next to you in line. Overthinking often makes us self-centered without meaning to. When your mind is spinning, everything becomes me, my fear, my shame, my future, my past. You can be in a room full of people and still be locked inside your head. The Buddha offers another way. You can use each moment with another person as a chance to step out of your mind and into your heart. Imagine you're sitting at a dining table with your family or friends. Your phone is on the table. Part of you is replaying a work email in your head. Another part is worrying about a text message you haven't answered. In the center of the table is a small Buddha statue or a candle with a Buddha image. You notice it for half a second. In that tiny moment, you have a choice. You can stay in your head, or you can decide, right now, I will give my full presence to the people in front of me. So you flip your phone face down. You take one slow breath. You look at the person who is talking and really listen. You notice their eyes, their tone, their feeling. This may seem like something small, but it is a powerful practice. Overthinking lives in somewhere else. Loving presence lives in right here. Every time you choose presence, you are training your mind to come out of its loops and into connection. The Buddha said that when we really listen, Without judging and without planning our response, we bring relief to others. And here is the beautiful thing. When you stop obsessing over what you will say next and simply listen, your own mind gets quieter too. You cannot overthink and deeply listen at the same time. Presence pushes out noise. You can practice this everywhere. On a train, instead of comparing your life to the people around you, you can look around and silently wish, may you be safe. May you be at peace. In a cafe, while waiting for your drink, instead of checking your phone for the 10th time, you can notice the barista's tired eyes and silently offer them kindness. At work, when a coworker is stressed, you can pause your own mental story and give them your full attention for 30 seconds. These are small actions that radiate a soft, real light. Another day, you might find yourself sitting in a waiting room before something important, a test, an interview, a medical appointment. Your mind wants to run wild. What if they say this? What if this goes wrong? What if I fail? You look around and notice a small Buddha image on a table or on your own bracelet. You sit up a little straighter, place both feet on the floor, and put your hands gently on your knees. Then you quietly repeat inside, right now, I am here. I can breathe. I can be kind to myself. I can be kind to whoever I meet in there. You haven't changed the situation, but you've changed the energy you are bringing to it. The Buddha also taught about right speech, speaking in ways that reduce suffering instead of increasing it. Overthinking often makes us talk from anxiety. We overshare, we defend, we explain ourselves too much, we apologize for existing, or we attack, sarcastically or harshly, because we feel unsafe. A lot of our mental noise comes from replaying these conversations afterward, worrying, why did I say that? What do they think of me now? One simple way to bring Buddha's wisdom into your speech is this. Before you speak, especially in a tense moment, give yourself one breath. Just one. You might be holding your phone, ready to send a long text, or standing in a kitchen doorway, about to react to something hurtful. Somewhere nearby is a small Buddha image on a magnet, a mug, a bracelet. Let that image remind you. Inhale, exhale, then speak. In that one breath, you can ask 3 quiet questions. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary right now? You don't need perfect answers. Just asking slows you down. It takes you out of automatic reaction. Then maybe instead of firing back a sharp comment, you say, I need a moment, and step away. Instead of sending a long, anxious essay in a message, you send a short, clear, honest line. Over time, these small shifts reduce the number of conversations you have to replay in your head at night. You will still make mistakes. You will still sometimes say things you wish you said differently. The Buddha knew we are human. The practice is not to be perfect, but to be awake. When you notice you've spoken from fear or anger, you don't spend hours hating yourself. You admit it, you breathe, you apologize if needed, and you learn. That keeps your energy clean. Regret becomes a teacher, not a prison. Boundaries are also a part of this path. Overthinking often comes from living without clear boundaries. Always saying yes when you mean no. Always trying to please everyone. Always carrying problems that aren't yours. The Buddha did not ask us to let people walk on us. He taught compassion, and compassion includes yourself. Picture yourself standing in your living room, phone buzzing with messages, mind racing with guilt. If I say no, they'll be upset. If I say yes, I'll be exhausted. On the shelf is a small Buddha statue looking calm and grounded. You take the phone, walk over, and place it beside the statue. Then you put your hand on your heart and silently ask, what is the kindest thing I can do for both of us? Sometimes the kindest thing is a gentle no. Sometimes it's a clear, I can't do this today, but I can do this much. When you speak from that quiet knowing, your mind has much less to argue about later. The Buddha showed that we cannot pour from an empty cup. When you respect your own limits, you are not being selfish. You are making it possible to show up with real love and real energy when it truly matters. Saying yes to everything from fear creates resentment and more overthinking. Saying no with honesty and kindness creates space for genuine care. Another important piece is how you relate to your past self. Overthinking loves to drag you back through old scenes. The breakup, the mistake, the moment you embarrassed yourself, the thing you didn't do. From the Buddhist perspective, the person you were back then no longer exists. They were a different collection of conditions, different age, knowledge, pain, confusion. You, listening now, are not the same person. So when your mind replays an old memory, you have another chance to shine positive energy, not by pretending it didn't happen, but by sending compassion backward. Maybe you're lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, remembering something from years ago that still makes your stomach twist. Somewhere in the room, a Buddha image glows softly. You imagine the younger version of yourself in that moment, scared or confused, and you silently say, "I'm sorry you went through that. You didn't know what you know now. I'm here with you." This doesn't change the past, but it heals the relationship between your present heart and your past pain. This practice reduces overthinking because it replaces judgment with understanding. Instead of, "I was so stupid," it becomes, "I was suffering, I was learning." The energy softens. The mind no longer needs to keep reopening the old wound to punish you. The Buddha was very clear. No amount of guilt can change the past, and no amount of anxiety can control the future. Only wise action in the present can change anything. And what about the future? Overthinking often chases an image of a perfect life. Perfect success, perfect partner, perfect body, perfect healing. When reality doesn't match that image, the mind panics. The Buddha taught the middle way, the path between denial and obsession, between laziness and harsh pushing. You still set goals. You still dream. But you do it with a relaxed heart. Imagine you're at your desk with a big plan mapped out on paper, arrows everywhere, sticky notes covering the surface. A little Buddha figurine is tucked in the corner. You pause, pick it up, and set it right in the middle of the plan, then breathe. In that moment, you quietly accept. Some things will go differently than I expect. That's okay. I will show up with presence each day and adjust. This acceptance is not giving up. It is trusting your ability to respond to life as it actually unfolds, not just as you try to script it. When you live like this, your positive energy stops being a mask and becomes your natural baseline. Not a loud, good vibes only performance, but a quiet faith. Whatever comes, I will meet it with as much wisdom, kindness, and courage as I can today. People feel that. They feel safer around you. They feel less judged, less pressured. And inside, you feel less like you're one mistake away from disaster. Remember, you don't have to wait until your mind is 100% calm to shine this energy. You can be in the middle of an anxious day and still make one conscious choice: to breathe before you speak, to listen instead of defend, to say a kind no instead of a resentful yes, to bless the people around you in silence instead of comparing yourself to them. These are all flashes of Buddha's light moving through very ordinary human moments. Every time you choose one of these actions, the overthinking mind loses a little power. It's as if you are slowly moving from a dark, noisy room into an open, sunlit one. The noise doesn't disappear all at once, but it gets farther and farther away. And the more you live from that open space, the more naturally you radiate something precious, a calm, kind, grounded presence that can walk through stress, pain, and change without losing its center. That is the kind of energy the Buddha pointed to, and it's already possible for you, right here, exactly as you are. If you're still here, listening to my voice right now, it already says something beautiful about you. It means you care about your mind. It means you're tired of being at war with yourself. It means some part of you believes there must be another way to live besides constant overthinking and endless self-doubt. And the Buddha would smile at that, because that sincere wish to wake up, to suffer less, to be kinder, That is already the beginning of wisdom that I want you to really let this in. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who notices them. Thoughts come and go. Moods come and go. Even the habit of overthinking can soften and change. But there is something in you that is quieter and deeper than the noise, like the sky behind all the weather. The Buddha's path is about learning to rest more and more in that open sky, even while the clouds come and go. Think of all the small moments we've talked about. Turning your phone face down beside a Buddha statue at night. Taking one conscious breath in the car before you drive. Feeling your feet on the ground in a waiting room. Placing your hand over your heart when shame appears. Looking at a Buddha image on your desk and asking, what is actually in my control right now? None of these actions are dramatic. They are simple, human gestures. But every time you do them, you are choosing a different relationship with your mind that you're shifting from I am my thoughts to I'm watching my thoughts. From I have to fix everything right now to I will do what I can today. From I'm broken to I'm learning. I'm human. I'm still worthy of kindness. The Buddha never asked us to become superhuman. He invited us to see clearly and love wisely. Overthinking usually comes from fear and confusion. You were trying to protect yourself. Now you are learning new ways to protect yourself, with awareness, with breath, with boundaries, with compassion that if you ever catch yourself thinking, I listened to this and I'm still overthinking. I failed. Please remember, the Buddha called it practice for a reason. No one gets it perfect. Even long-time meditators still have busy minds sometimes. The difference is they don't believe every thought anymore. They bow to the noise, smile at it, and gently come back to the breath, to the body, to the present moment, again and again. You can do the same. You don't have to win against your mind. You just have to stop letting it bully you. So as we come to the end of this teaching, I want to leave you with a simple, daily rhythm you can carry into your life. A small Buddha-inspired routine to help you stop overthinking and shine more positive energy into the world that I in the morning. When you wake up, before you dive into your phone, place one hand on your heart and take 3 slow breaths. If you have a Buddha image nearby, on your wall, on your phone wallpaper, on your nightstand, let your eyes rest on it for a moment. Then set a simple intention for the day, in your own words, something like, today, I will try to be a little kinder to myself. Today, I will try to breathe before I react. Today, I will try to notice when I'm overthinking and come back to now. That's it. No big pressure. Just a gentle direction for your mind and your energy. During the day, use whatever Buddha reminders you have. A bracelet, a statue on your desk, a magnet on your fridge, even a small drawing, as little bells of awareness. Each time you notice one, pause for just one breath. Feel your feet. Relax your jaw. Notice how your chest feels. Ask quietly, what am I feeding right now? Fear or calm? Judgment or kindness? And if you can, shift just 1 degree toward kindness to 18 night. When you lie in bed and the mind wants to replay the whole day, try this practice. Imagine placing everything you're worried about at the feet of the Buddha, not to magically fix it, but to stop carrying it alone for a few hours. You can say inside, today, I did what I could with what I knew. May I learn from it. May I rest now. May I forgive myself for what I did not know how to do better. May all those I interacted with be safe and at peace. Your mind may still try to pull you into stories, but now there is another voice present, a gentle, wise one. And with time, that voice becomes stronger. Slowly, people around you will notice something changing. Maybe they won't have the language for it. They'll just say, you seem calmer, or you handle stress differently now, or I feel peaceful when I'm around you. That is not an accident. That is the result of every little moment you chose breath over panic, presence over distraction, kindness over self-hate. This is the quiet glow of practice, and you know what is beautiful? Your healing is never just about you. When you stop attacking yourself in your head, you naturally become less harsh with others. When you learn to sit with your own uncomfortable feelings, you become more patient with other people's pain. When you stop believing every scary story your mind tells, you stop spreading so much fear into your conversations. Your personal peace becomes a refuge for others too. That is very close to what the Buddha meant by compassion.so. If your mind still tells you, "You'll never change, you'll always be like this," remember, your mind is not the boss. It is just one voice. The Buddha is another voice, one that speaks of understanding, patience, and courage. With every small action, you are choosing which voice to follow. Before we close, I want to thank you from my heart for spending this time here. In a world that constantly pulls your attention outward, you chose to turn inward for a while, to listen, to reflect, to care about your inner life. That alone is rare and beautiful. If this teaching touched you, if even one sentence gave you a little more space around your thoughts, I'd like to ask you for a small favor that actually makes a big difference. Please, give this video a like so more people who are stuck in overthinking can find it. Share it with one friend or family member who lives inside their head and needs a gentle reminder that they're not alone. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so we can keep walking this path together, step by step, breath by breath. In the comments, I'd love to hear from you. You don't have to share your whole life story. Just tell me one simple thing. What is one small practice from this teaching that you want to try this week? Is it 3 breaths in the morning? Putting your phone face down at night? Questioning your thoughts? Being kinder to your past self? Write it down. Let it be your promise to yourself, witnessed by this little community. May you remember that you are more than your overthinking. May you learn to be a gentle friend to your own mind. May you carry a calm, warm light wherever you go, even on difficult days. Thank you for listening. Thank you for practicing, and I hope to see you in the next video. Folded hands.